The U.S. government is already preparing to fraudulently win elections down in Paraguay, which will be held in approximately 30 days, more or less, practically in a month. They have just sent the head of the Central Intelligence Agency, hereafter referred to as La CIA, to speak directly with the president of Paraguay. It's odd that he's doing this in the middle of the world stage as the president of Taiwan is currently in the United States. And the odd thing is that Paraguay is one of the 13 countries in the world that recognizes Taiwan as an independent country. In other words, it does not recognize it as a part of China. And this here is what is a dangerous thing and is sounding the alarms of the United States, which is that in the latest polls in Paraguay, the Liberal Party, that is the left wing there, could be about to win, which is something that the US is not going to allow, not even jokingly, and is already implementing a plan to steal the elections. So what's happening? Mario Abdo Benitez, who is the president of Paraguay, revealed on Wednesday that he received a visit from the deputy director of La CIA, David Cohen, to discuss matters of national security. Now, you tell me, this is the map. This is Paraguay. What does Paraguay have to do with the U.S. to discuss matters of national security? They aren't close. Paraguay doesn't send migrants. They don't traffic narcotics. They don't share a border. What more could Paraguay cause for national security concerns from the U.S.? Well, a little further down in this article, he's going to state it. Paraguay is one of the 13 countries in the world that recognizes Taiwan as not a part of the PRC. In other words, as an independent country, and the upcoming elections may put this policy to the test. Remember that Honduras, they already said goodbye to this policy. They no longer recognize Taiwan as an independent country. They say that it's a part of China, something that the U.S. does not want because this will mean China is the leading influence in Latin America, and this could be considered a matter of national security. It says here, we received a visit from David Cohen, Deputy Director of La CIA of the United States, with whom we discussed strengthening cooperation between our countries in matters of national security. Again, what does this have to do with anything? Paraguay does nothing. Paraguay is here. It's at another point on the map. What else does he say here? Here he states it, and the U.S. Embassy reveals it. They completely spill the beans about what this is about. The Embassy of the United States in Asunción, Paraguay, confirmed the meeting and said that it was held within the framework of strong bilateral cooperation between the two countries and discussed sharing strategies. Watch, pay attention to this. To combat global threats. This is most important for the U.S. because if we read any military reports to understand what threats exist for the U.S., number one is not Russia. It's not the war between Russia and Ukraine. It's not even fentanyl. The number one threat is China. This is no joke. The number one threat is the influence that China is having on the world. So they are saying it here in a textual way. It was to make sure that Paraguay is not going to elect a president who is going to ignore Taiwan, because then it would weaken the scheme from where the U.S. would be fighting for the independence of Taiwan. If there are fewer countries that recognize them, in the end, the U.S. would be left alone and the only country that recognizes Taiwan. And they cannot allow this. They have to have puppet states that support their cause. Now, why is this? So that in this way, the U.S. government will be able to argue for taking military action against China. They'll say, it's because Taiwan is an independent country and we have to support them. Do you understand? Okay. And well, yes, it's rare that Paraguay would receive so much attention from Washington. It's just that it's a country, it's not to belittle them, but it's a small country that's all the way over here. They have 7 million inhabitants. Mexico City, I think, has about 10 million. In other words, has way more people. It's a very small country that poses no threat to the U.S., not in any way, unless you see it from the vision or focus of U.S. hegemony. And so what is setting off the alarms, as I said previously, are the elections on April 30th. Currently in the polls, Efrain Alegre of the Liberal Party is leading with 38 points. In second place is Santi Peña, who is from the ruling Colorado Party, who is operating with the government. They have 36 points. It's a difference of 2 points, a difference that can easily, with fraud, be corrected. La CIA is an expert in fraud and coups. For what reason did La CIA go there? Exactly, to make sure that the Liberal Party won't win. Now, if Paraguay really wants to make the change, the left has to convince more of the electorate, so there will be a big, big difference. And this margin of 2 points is not going to help the situation at all. Mario Abdo previously won the elections with 4%. The race was quite close, but they granted him the victory. This time, the government is not going to give the victory to Efrain Alegre so easily. There's a 2 point difference, and the US and the right wing is not going to risk it. I hope you liked this video. If so, tell us what you think. Is the United States not going to allow for another Latin American country to align itself with the ideology of the left? Is it not going to allow another Latin American country to oppose the interests of the United States and suddenly align itself with the hegemony of China? I hope that you've liked this video. If so, hit that like button and leave a comment below. Please share this video so that we reach more people. I invite you to subscribe in case you are not subscribed. See you in the next video. Take good care.